Let's continue the discussion with Katie Wolff and Gemma Tognini, and we're talking about The Voice. The Prime Minister's made a big speech in Adelaide tonight. There's been a lot of talk about it all day because some lines were leaked. Well, here's one of the most controversial lines delivered in the flesh.
Australians won't succumb to their appeals to fear and their even more ludicrous invitations to jump at our own shadows. That's because Australians have a healthy scepticism of doomsayers, a scepticism kept in good health by memories of all the predictions offered by the Chicken Littles of the past.
Well, a lot of people didn't like that reference to Chicken Littles, Katie. I mean, honestly, the No campaign are running a red-hot fear campaign, creating all sorts of, in my view, exaggerated and amplified fears. They can't whinge that someone says this is a Chicken Little campaign.
Well, look, I actually think what the Prime Minister needs to be doing is really articulating very clearly to Australians why, if he feels that they should vote yes, why they should vote yes, and how this is going to make a difference to Aboriginal people on the ground in places like, in the Northern Territory, Borroloola, Mount Isa, wherever you want to look at around regional Australia, how it is genuinely going to make a difference to the lives of those people. We've spoken about this before, but I think that is where he really needs to be hitting that message, is talking to everyday Australians about how it's going to make a difference.
That's what he's been doing. I've been critical of him for not hitting back in the debate, but the No campaign accept it's a good idea to have Indigenous feedback and to try and improve these things and have a legislative voice, sure. Gemma. The whole No campaign's been built on this, but it's going to infect every area of government and it's going to stop the government doing things and it's going to give us an unfair advantage to Indigenous people. He's got to hit back at those scare campaigns.
I think it's how he's hitting back. I mean, I think to your point, there have been some really wild things said about what The Voice may or may not do. And the best way to counter those arguments is with fact. And unfortunately, overwhelmingly, as with those lines, the Prime Minister is talking about feelings and emotions. He's channeling his Dennis Denuto. He's talking about concepts that are in principle really great concepts, but he's not answering the question. He's the one proposing change.
He's hitting back at the critics. Well, he's saying don't just try and scare people.
But that's not what he should be doing. I mean, I can be on retainer, although I wouldn't take his money. But my point is, it's not about addressing what they're saying. It's about who are you talking to, mate? What are you trying to achieve? If you're trying to achieve convincing me, who's still on the fence, why I should jump off the fence, don't tell me about what they're doing.
Well, you've got to engage in the debate. The No have been saying, stop giving me the vibe, answer the questions.
All he's doing.
Well, he's got to point out, we haven't seen the whole speech, unfortunately, but he's got to point out that this is a scare campaign, that it's not going to get involved in every decision of government.
According to him.
Well, no, it's a scare campaign according to the facts, because there are people who are saying this will have a veto when it's clearly an advisory body. There are people saying this will put race into the Constitution when race is in the Constitution, has always been there from day one.
He has failed, in my view, he has failed to clearly, like to Katie's point, clearly say this will benefit because of this, this and this. And all of us, I don't know a single person who doesn't want better outcomes.
Well, if you want more detail, that's fine. Say, I'm not going to vote for it because I want more detail. But what he's saying is people are saying if you vote for it, the whole country's going to gum up and government won't be able to work. That is a scare campaign. Katie?
Yeah, look, I take on board what you're saying, Chris, and I tend to agree with you. I do think that we've got this massive scare campaign that is happening across Australia right now, but the thing is, it's sticking. And so this is where he's actually got to be able to communicate to everyday Australians how this is going to make a difference. Now, for me, as somebody who sees those Indigenous issues every single day, the thing that's really important to me is that every time we have a change of government, whether it's here in the Northern Territory, whether it's in Queensland, so at a state level or at a national level, every time the government changes, those priorities for Indigenous people change. Right. And it isn't helping in any way, shape or form to actually deliver services on the ground in those communities.
Yeah,
so there is a way that we can have an advisory body that helps, I would hope that it makes a big difference. But whether it will or not remains to be seen.
Well, it won't happen if the referendum doesn't get up. I just want to show you what Peter Dutton has said in response to this.
There should be a respectful debate on both sides of the argument. The Prime Minister out there name-calling people and others suggesting that people are racist because they don't support The Voice, it's completely and utterly unacceptable.
There you go. That's the no case. As you know, I know you'll all be screaming at me and emailing me, but I mean, you can't just say that all the time. Whenever you debate it, it's not fair, don't have the argument, and then just go with the fear campaign. You've got to have robust debate on both sides.